Hey y'all, it's Rad Lad. Welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. Let's get back into it. The search for evidence. You are walking up the marble stairs that lead you to the doors of the prefecture. The sword of the younger twin, carved from stone, looms above the doors, just as the case of Dorius Otten now looms over you. Preparing this case will take many long months or even years. The words of Prefect Elborn are evidence enough of that. And time again, you will ask yourself, are you ready to see this case through to the end? Father meets you at the stairs, and judging by the dour look about him, news of your most recent case has already reached him. Son, I didn't want to discuss this back home. Elborn is our friend, and I stand by him at all times. But he's dragged you into something far too dangerous. I'm not going to repeat your grandfather's mistakes, so I won't tell my son how to live his life or what to do. But I ask you to please consider our family. Would it be worth it to let us come to harm, even if the triumph of justice and law is at stake? There are already rumors at the prefecture. They say you're getting ready to summon a highborn Archene to court. Soon these rumors will spread beyond the prefecture walls. You and I are both Brantes. Perhaps we ought to stay away from something so dangerous. Some battles are too ugly for us to win. You can always slow down the process and bide your time with routine paperwork. Avoid attracting unwanted attention. This way your career and our family honor would not be at risk. Trust me in this, son. Rather than making a selfless sacrifice, we can achieve far more through tireless service for the good of the law. Promise your father you'll consider his words. You say goodbye and return to your office. You are at a crossroads. If you are to make any headway in the case against Otten, you have to start now, while the trial of his misdeeds is still fresh. You have little first-hand knowledge of Otten's criminal wrongdoings. Only Thomas's stories about what you've seen Only Thomas's stories and what you have seen yourself. Turning this case into a trial requires far more evidence than that. Your friend could be the key to the entire case, if he can help you find the other men who have suffered under the remorseless Archnean. But Thomas is a hunted man. He has every reason to lay low and steer clear of the courthouse. If Thomas can put you in touch with other victims and witnesses among the soldiers and officers of the Legion, perhaps you could gather evidence yourself. But the Legion may meet a lone outsider such as you with too much resistance. Things might get ugly. You consider your options. Apart from Thomas, who else could help you gather compelling evidence against the commander? Otten is an Archean from an ancient dynasty. Anyone involved withhold their tongue, no matter what. The way things are right now, not a single soul would risk angering the Ottens to aid a middling judge from an unknown family. Unless an even more highborn Archean chooses to support your cause. Gaius Tempest, the imperial overseer of Megra, the emperor's own brother. Every aristocrat in the province knows he detests Dorius Otten for remaining loyal to Archduke Milanitis. Ensuring the overseer's support would increase your authority greatly, and give you a chance to gather evidence against Otten without Thomas lifting a finger. But I like Milanitis. But the Imperial Overseer is one step above the Prefect, your immediate superior. You can only address Gaius Tempest directly if you keep it a secret from Elborn. Communicating directly with the Overseer of the province means defying your loyalty to Elborn. Are you willing to do this? I feel like I've already been through this enough. Puzzled, you start pacing around your office. It's time to decide how you will begin this case. Depending on what you choose, the case against Otten could lead you to unprecedented success, or end your career, or even your life. Because why would I? Father is right. There is no reason to risk your well-being and the well-being of your friends and family like this. This way, you will not antagonize the aristocracy. With no noble human or Archean perceiving you as a threat, your career will be secure, and it may even flourish. Okay. You will refrain from pursuing on from now, and commit only to the minimum effort necessary to this case. Without leaving your office, you draw up a detailed list of Otten's potential transgressions and indicate that acquiring credible evidence for these crimes is currently impossible. The Legion officers who have fallen victim to Otten's swords are unlikely to speak of the duels, anxious as they are to avoid getting challenged again. For many of them, another duel will be their last. The lack of formal complaints from the officers or their families makes inaction even easier. The officers met their death in the line of duty. What else is there to say? You add these conclusions to the thin folder against Otten, then file it away and move on to other cases. One day, Prefect Elborn pays you a visit to see your progress firsthand. Are you saying you've learned nothing else of note, Brante? What a pity. The Legion soldiers are not the only ones who fear Commander Otten, it seems. I hoped you would be braver than your father, but this is understandable. A dangerous case like this is nothing but a hindrance to a promising young judge who seeks to advance his career, is it not? Well then, it saddens me to say it, but so far we lack the evidence to have the commander indicted, especially since he is a highborn Archaean. But this is only the beginning. The situation could change at any time. I see you've put away Otten's case to focus on others. Quite sensible, seeing as we have no alternative right now. If we want to have any chance of getting him indicted in court, we need to make the nobles in the province recognize duels as acts of murder. This means defying a tradition of old, a road perilous and seldom traveled. It means enforcing the rule of law over the Anazote gentry. For now, Sir Brante, return to your duties and pay particular attention to any dueling incidents. We will take our next step against Sir Otten when the time is right. At the end of the day, you run into your father on the way out of the office. As you go down the winding staircase leading to the exit, he gives you a quick hug when no one is looking. I spoke with Elborn, Rad. He's disappointed in you, but don't take it personally. You chose to avoid the ear of people more powerful than us. You did the right thing. It's much easier for Elborn to get involved in something like this. He's a baron and a noble of the sword. An Archaean's word won't be enough to have him executed. You, on the other hand, don't have that privilege. You can't bring any hope or justice to this world if you're dead. This case, it's much more serious than it may seem. Even Sir Otten, highborn Archaean though he is just a pawn in a much larger game. The Brante family would do well to stay off the board entirely. Wow. Wow. Is it bad that my career is so good? Oh. Stefan's Gambit. Oh. Is that good though? Cause we're good friends. Because we're in good standing. Stefan's Gambit. You have hardly found any time for family matters this year. The events taking place in the city keep you busy at all hours. Tonight you come home extremely late, but the fireplace in the sitting room is lit. By the fire you see Stefan with a glass of wine. Your elder brother has been waiting for you. You take a seat in the chair by Stefan's side. Your brother keeps turning his glass with his long fingers. Rad, we need to have a talk about Gloria. She flatly refuses to behave as she ought to. Her antics are ruining our family's reputation. If this situation persists, nobility of the sword will be out of the question. Brother, I do not wish her ill, but we have no right to sit idly by. Regrettably, Gloria will never truly be part of the Brante family. Her origins are too tarnished. So it is our duty to find her a new family. It is high time Gloria got married. But we can't just give our sister to a commoner, can we? And how could any noble wed her, knowing her origins? It's been a stumbling block for a long time, but I've finally found a suitable match for her. His name is Jose El Pelletier. He is a young nobleman of the sword, recently graduated from the college, and now he has a position at the city hall. Do you recall a reception several years ago where he couldn't take his eyes off Gloria? Pelletier has been obsessed with her ever since. Not even her lowly origins can deter him. Admittedly, Gloria does not reciprocate his affection just yet. So let us convince Gloria that becoming Sir El Pelletier's bride is her chance to escape her current situation. And then let us pray she comes to her senses and puts her rebellious ways behind her. Isn't this an ideal solution? After marrying El Pelletier, Gloria will be a noble woman herself. We'll be granting her the freedom she craves and choose a girl, and then she can write poetry and do whatever else she takes fancy to. I will enter her into negotiations with El Pelletier family. Rumor has it Jose's father already has a future wife in mind for him, the daughter of an important chancellery official. But Jose's passion must win out in the end, don't you agree? As for you, Rad, please help me with Gloria. You're closest with her. You can see how beneficial this match would be. She must fulfill her duty to the family that took her in, after all. Stefan looks at you expectantly. You are at a crossroads. Will you accept your brother's plan or refuse him? Will this marriage be a blessing, and for whom? I'm gonna agree. Doesn't work out, I'll go back, but I'm gonna agree. You remain silent for some time, weighing your decision. The plan your brother has proposed sounds reasonable. In a new family, and with a new noble title, Gloria will be able to put all the resentment about her fate behind her and be free of the limitations of the lowly estate. You let Stefan know that you are on his side. A broad smile lights up his face as he reclines in his chair. I knew you'd be sensible. Together we can certainly make it happen. But remember how stubborn Gloria is. An easy victory is not to be expected. So remember how I said I try to be the most despicable person? I think I have to rewrite that. I just have to be the most, noble... I just have to be Stefan, basically. You know what I'm saying? I just have to be Stefan. I don't have to be horrible, the worst person, because I've kind of failed that. Not because I tried to fail, or not because I did something. It's because it wouldn't let me become completely horrible. So I think this is still in line with what we're doing, right? The next morning, you invite Gloria to join you in the library for a private conversation. You inquire carefully about your sister's thoughts on marriage. If the nobleman of the sword were to wed her, she would join the noble estate, and all the arts would be open to her. Gloria laughs in response. Become a noblewoman? In all of Anazote, you never find a single noblewoman of the sword, or nobleman of the sword, who would ever marry a low-born girl like me. I don't even have a father. You mentioned Jose El Pelletier. Jose El Pelletier. This spirited young gentleman would be willing to join Gloria in wedlock. Marry El Pelletier? Rad, you don't understand. Sure, he's easy on the eyes. He's a skilled warrior and a respected nobleman. But he's been after me for a year now, and I've managed to figure out what he's after. He needs a wife to give birth to his heirs. Following him around obediently at social gatherings and praise his chivalry. Can you see me in that role? Gloria falls silent for a moment, gathering her thoughts. Besides, I don't even want to be a noblewoman, okay? I can't just live peacefully within the noble estate knowing that other commoners are still suffering. I can't just pretend their misery has nothing to do with me. You try to give her a taste of the benefits that a noble name brings, but your sister doesn't even want to hear you. This is all Stefan's idea, isn't it? You never throw me out of the house on your own, so hear this. It's not going to happen. Later, you inform Stefan of your sister's refusal. His face turns to stone. The ingrate. I've almost come to an agreement with El Pelletier. All the pains we've taken to arrange your future, and this is how she repays us. Well, we'll proceed without consulting her. Rather, we need to devise a way to put pressure on Gloria, even if it takes us a long time. Alright. I don't see a reason not to do this. Unless it blows up in my face.
An audience with the overseer?
Okay. Recent events have strengthened your position even further. Your authority among the judges is unchallenged. There is talk in noble circles to the effect that a nobleman with such respect for honor and tradition would be ideal for the post of prefect. You receive a letter early in the morning. The seal on the envelope is that of the Imperial Tempest dynasty. Gaius Tempest himself, the overseer of the province and the Emperor's brother, has summoned you to an audience with him. You are to head for his headquarters at the castle of Aniri at once. Without delay, you send for a tailor and purchase a new suit with the latest of fashion, a waistcoat, a shirt with a jabot, and a long velvet coat fitted at the waist. You also go to the barber and make sure your appearance is impeccable. You are leaving Anazote. The journey to Aniri is not a short one. You while away the time by observing the barren landscape and musing. The overseer of Megra himself wishes to see you in person. But why? All you can do is wait for the audience. 5 days later, you arrive at your destination. The estate of Aniri is remarkably prosperous for the desiccated province of Magra. Gaius Tempest's home has a truly Archean flair, a massive stronghold surrounded by imposing walls. It is set up upon a rocky ledge and encircled by a moat with a stone bridge across it. You are expected to present yourself for an audience by noon. You enter a study. It is quite modestly decorated by Archean standards. The most powerful Archean in Magra is sitting at his desk, penning some ordinances. After finishing another line, he notices you. The scratching of his quill stops. Gaius Tempest has not changed since the time you saw him on the balcony of the Imperial Palace, celebrating the heir's coming of age. And now the Overseer of Magra, scion of the Tempest dynasty and brother of its emperor, stands before you. You offer a gracious bow. Gaius Tempest accepts your greeting with a favorable nod. I've heard of your family, Sir Brante. Nobles of the mantle for 2 generations only, and already such a recognition among noble society. Your work as a judge deserves respect as well. It seems you know how to choose your friends and allies. You assure the Overseer that you are flattered by his appreciation, and you also remark that your principal allies are the law and your loyalty to the Empire. A faint grin passes over Gaius Tempest's exquisite features. Just as I thought, but one of those who must be your allies, Sir Elborn, has disappointed me of late. Please understand that I mean Brante. My prefect is a talented and honest judge, but alas, he is also myopic and acts too hastily. Firm power is needed to bring a positive change to the province. As for Elborn's escapades, he is playing with fire by expanding the rights of the lowborn and aggravating the nobility. Change is out of the question as long as my legitimate authority in Magra can be challenged by that serpent Melanitis and his entourage. Because of his schemes, half of the old nobility has turned against me. The other half are people like Remy El Varman, who do not know what true loyalty is. Scoundrels like him never stay with the same master or ally for long. His only goal is to destroy his enemies, no matter the cost. But let us return to the question I brought you here to discuss. I am aware that you have begun legal proceedings against Commander Auden. He is among those who have chosen the wrong side in my dispute with the Archduke. I will not object if this impudent youth pays for his stubbornness, but please remember this noble blood. I cannot allow a highborn Archean to be judged by the same court that reviews the petty grievances of the lowborn. There are certain traditions that must remain inviolable. The case will not be adjudicated by the prefecture. Auden must be handed over to a noble court of honor. It is not a question of justice. By killing my legion soldiers, Auden has insulted me personally. In a court of honor, I will be able to deal with Auden properly, Archean to Archean, but only a few Brante can gather sufficient proof, and occupy such a position that not only I, but all the other nobles must heed your advice. I need a personal ally at the prefecture. If you prove to be useful for me, you will become a member of the entourage of Overseer Gaius of the Tempests. What the hell kind of bad name is that? In order to give you a free hand, I will order you to be promoted to the rank of senior judge. You have already shown yourself to be worthy of the title, but remember, you are henceforth loyal to me personally, and not to Prefect Ilborn. Gaius Tempest gestures to a sealed envelope on his desk. This is the decree ordering your promotion, but remember that Auden must not stand trial in the prefecture court. The only judgment awaiting him is his own, or is my own. May I assume that we are clear, Sir Brante? Gaius Tempest watches you intently. His cold stare is difficult to endure. The Overseer is not accustomed to being refused, but are you willing to accept his proposal? But I'm going to overthrow him, I think, eventually. Your head bowed, you accept the envelope. You promise the Overseer that you will carry out all of his orders. Gaius Tempest reclines in his chair with a satisfied air. I expected nothing less. You have risen high, Brante. You have the patronage of a noble Archean from the Tempest family. Don't let me down. Auden must fall. Gather evidence and prepare your case, but remember your place is in this affair. It is a dispute between 2 Archeans, not a human trial. It is time for the midday meal. You will depart first thing tomorrow, but you will spend the night in the castle. You leave for Anazote the next morning. Boy, I stayed in the castle. Rumors about your audience with the overseer make their way through every noble household. Becoming a senior judge is a big deal. Prefect Elborn receives the news of your promotion with the utmost surprise, but fulfills Gaius Tempest's request without any objection. Traditionally, a promotion is an occasion that calls for celebration. Your family funds must shoulder this burden, such is the custom. Your grandfather Gregor Brante is the only other member of the family to hold such a lofty position in the prefecture. The celebration attracts all of Anazote's high society. Among the other guests, Magistrate Elverman pays you a visit. The celebration is in full swing when Remy Elverman takes the stage. My dear Rad, allow me to congratulate you on becoming a senior judge. I am glad to see that this post filled by a real nobleman who has respect for our traditions. You may not have been born a nobleman, but you have become one. But you mustn't rest on your laurels. Instead of truly dispensing justice, many judges prefer to interfere with the lives of Anazote's most esteemed citizens. I'm sure you will find a way to put them in their place. A toast to new heights for Senior Judge Brante. Yippee! The magistrate's speech is met with applause. Meanwhile, the seat reserved for Prefect Elborn is empty. He has chosen not to come at all. Fuck that guy! Gaius Tempest is right. You have risen high, but the higher the ascent, the more deadly the fall. Otten's case has turned into something more, a struggle for power in the province. You must be careful. With that thought, you empty your glass. He's already betrayed. Nothing has changed. And I'm the best at what I do. I'm so diplomatic. Yay! A realm unknown. The sun is setting on a cold, windy day as you return from the prefecture. To your surprise, a messenger awaits you at the door with an urgent letter from Sir Elborn. You open the letter. Brante, there is an urgent case that I must entrust to you. We have just received a report of a secret society being formed by young nobles. I don't know why I'm giving this to you because I hate you. The Archduke's family may be involved. This concerns me. I suspect a possible plot to depose Overseer Tempest. I like that. Normally the secret chancellery handles all such cases, but I'd rather investigate the rumors of the plot before there is any action. Preventing unnecessary bloodshed and disgrace would be prudent. You are to investigate this matter as soon as possible. The gendarmes tracked down a suspicious nobleman by the name of Alexis L. Lance. Based on his confession, a meeting of the society will be held tonight. Unfortunately, this is all we were able to learn from him. The L. Lance family is too high standing for more thorough questioning. Fortunately, all members of this secret society wear masks when attending meetings. We have acquired L. Lance's personal mask and will ensure that he is late to the meeting. You should be able to impersonate him quite easily. You are to attend the meeting tonight and learn as much as possible about this secret society. This will allow us to foil a dangerous plot or save many young people from the secret chancellery. Chicka 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 chow. The letter includes a delicate gilded mask of intricate workmanship. Fortunately, it fits your face entirely. It seems your plans for tonight have changed. Following the prefect's instructions, you come at the appointed hour to an inconspicuous mansion at the edge of Anazote with a spacious yard and a tall fence around it. The gatekeepers bow and open the gate as soon as they see you. It seems the mask is enough to convince them you belong inside. Inside the yard, you see noble carriages, many more than you had expected. You are ushered into a dressing room of sorts. A change of clothes already awaits you inside. It is a curious garb, a square of flowing, sparkling cloth with clasps and a cord to keep it from unwrapping. You have never seen anything like it. With the strange robe and the gilded mask over your normal clothes and face, you cannot help but feel rather silly. This attire feels positively unsuitable for any kind of plotting or scheming. I think this is the thing that I did as a monk, but not the judge. Yeah, I think it is. This is the thing I was talking about, like the secret society or whatever. Next, you proceed to a large room. The windows are covered in black cloth to keep prying eyes away, but but you forget about it moments later. What seems to be a strange performance is playing out before your very eyes. You hear droning, unfamiliar music coming seemingly from nowhere. You see candlelight dancing and glimmering. Ribbons of gold and silver are hung along the walls as decorations. And there are people, many people like you. They are dressed in flowing robes and delicate gilded masks with narrow slits for eyes. The people are talking. They stand unexpectedly close to one another, their hands on each other's shoulders. You approach one of the groups, hoping to oversee or overhear the subject of their conversation. But you almost recoil when several arms reach out at once, attempting to grasp you tenderly by the shoulder. Steeling yourself, you put a hand on another person's forearm. The masked people seem friendly and genial. No one appears surprised by your insecurity. And their conversations are also quite of the ordinary, or out of the ordinary. You hear unfamiliar names, names that could belong to legendary heroes of old, or to the people here who have taken them as secret identities. You hear mentions of books you do not know and emotions they felt while reading them. Their conversations feel like a strange dream. You hear several voices singing in a far-off corner of the room. There are no lyrics to the song. Each voice maintains its note. Together these voices form a tender, softly aching melody. It feels enrapturing. It spirits you away. You feel so distant now from the purpose of your visit, so withdrawn from the judge's trade, so far away from the empire and from your very self. A hand touches your shoulder, bringing you back to your senses. A pair of familiar eyes look at you intently from behind a glistening, greenish silver mask. They belong to Octavia. You pull back and bow to the Archduke's daughter. See, knew it. I thought so. I believe I recognize the man behind this mask. I never expected to see you here today, my extraordinary human. But I must behave here. You do best to do the same. We are not alone. It would be best if we are not seen too close to one another. As for this place, Sir Brante, allow me to explain. This is my circle of La Tari. And before you ask, no, we do not plot, nor do we scheme. We have removed ourselves as far as possible from such machinations. This place is a little world of our own, a brief respite from tradition and noble customs and other such fuss. Our gathering is but a pretense, a game of make-believe. We pretend we are neither nobles nor citizens of the Blessed Empire, nor humans, nor Archnians, but the La Tari. Do you know what this word means? I would not be surprised if you have never heard of the La Tari. These days, the people of La Tari are mentioned only in rare historical works. Long before us, in an age when this land was fertile and green, the La Tari lived upon the land that would become Megra. They were masters for remarkable art. They could create worlds from nothing but their conscious minds. Woo! I can do that. Many of these peoples come here for simple entertainment and a brief taste of freedom. Others seek a respite from the binding customs of the noble lot. Still others feel encumbered by the blood ties and ancestral obligations. Only here are we fully free from the burden of our past and our present. Yet some among us seek more than brief moments of freedom. They are drawn here by a fascination with the Latari, and their idea that our entire existence can be shaped by the mind alone. We strive to know the Latari people for ourselves. We strive to continue their teachings. We strive to become them. If we happen to master the art of shaping worlds from our own hands, we may yet break free of the trap that is the harsh existence. Surprised by this, you ask her why she is telling you this so openly. She knows that the ritual of extinct races are held in the same regard as magic, and punishable as such. In response to your question, Octavia suddenly takes off her golden mask, and reveals a slight smile on her once hidden face. May your voice ne'er speak words of deceit. To great shame lies the path of untruth. Where an Octian lies, where a human denies, the Latari speak truly, forsooth. I'm not afraid. The truth of the Latari matters more to me than any persecution. You came here in secret and wearing a mask, which means the prefecture has taken an interest in my little gatherings. But I am confident you will describe this as an innocent club of young nobles and keep our fragile world from prying eyes and ears. Would you do this for me, Rad Brante? Of course, my love, of course. Anything for you, my love, my beautiful darling, my doll. These words spoken by Octavia sound more like an assertion than a question, but you are in no hurry to respond. Your thoughts are tangled, lost among the echoing voices, fluid motions, and transcendent music. This gathering is in violation of the law. This you cannot deny. All rituals of extinct races were banned at the foundation of the Empire. You may summon the gender maze here at any moment. You need only to give the sign to the driver, and when they get here, the circle of Latari will be gone in an instant. You will prove to the city that not even the most noble of its denizens are above the law, but Octavia will never forgive you. Yeah, I guess not. You could, on the other hand, keep the circle of Latari a secret from Melbourne and report this meeting as a harmless gathering of young nobles looking for an opportunity to socialize. It wouldn't be the first time I've neglected Elborn, or betrayed him, but if the secret chancellery ever takes interest in these meetings, you will be powerless. Someone has already reported Octavia's circle to the prefecture. There's a very good chance these reports will continue. Perhaps if you tell Octavia of the danger she is facing, she will disband the circle herself. There is one more way you could resolve this predicament. With a piece of paper, some ink, and a bit of skill, the Circle of Latari could become a noble historical society, one of many dozen in Anazote alone. Legitimized by the city, Octavia's gatherings could remain a secret within the mansion. But do you have enough influence to make this possible, and would it be wise to expend it in this way? Say something, Rad. This is no time to be quiet. The great mystery of Latari is about to begin. You promise Octavia not to tell a soul about the Circle of Latari, and ensure the prefect is none the wiser. You will tell the prefect that this gathering of young nobles is just an elaborate yet harmless amusement that poses no threat to the public order whatsoever. The Archean lady rewards you with an enigmatic smile. I expected nothing less, Rad Brante. I value your loyalty. This circle is the most important thing in my life right now. If only we were alone, so I could show you the full extent of my gratitude. But the great mystery of the night is about to begin. As you have joined us tonight, Rad, you will partake in it. Octavia withdraws, walks to the center of the room and raises her arms. The voices and music fall silent. Form a circle of chosen ones, and join hands. Direct your thoughts and feelings towards the circle's center, towards me. Become one with me. Become one inside the circle. Become Latari! Before you know it, the massed people have formed a large circle. They begin to move. It is a strange, slow dance devoid of music. Their movements are unlike any dance you know. Intertwined arms become an embrace, and that embrace then becomes intertwined arms yet again. Everyone dances, and the dance sweeps you away and absorbs you as well. You see golden faces moving all around. Deep within, you begin to feel a strange connection to them. It is as if you have known them all along, as if you have known yourself as a being with a gilded, delicate face. You are united, one with the people who surrounded you, insecure no more, uneasy no more, all of you dissolved and blended within this space. You are one. You are Latari. You are the truth. Beyond you there is nothing. The world grows around grows dull. The fragments are falling away. Your bodies, the walls, the houses, the city, everything grows dull and disappears in the light. There is only the Latari. Beyond them, there is nothing. The world was but a dream, and you have awoken from it. The music stops, and the circle breaks apart. Your back is perfectly straight, your head held high, as if you actually glimpsed another world through your eyes during your short time you spent here. You shudder at this thought. The minutes spent in this strange dance, what were they? That you do not know. But the law, the lot, the empire itself, they did not exist so long as this dance of unity lasted. Do you understand now? You see why there's nothing in the world more important to me than the circle. This world holds us up like a prison, yet there can be another, a world free from the twins and their design. Ha, I can glimpse it, but if only I could step into it. Octavia cuts her speech short. She looks at you intently. But this is only my concern and my responsibility, because I want it to be so. Do not return here, Rad. You've seen enough. You'll bring danger upon the circle if you are seen coming here again. The next day, you report to Elborn and tell him that his concerns are baseless. There was no sign of a noble plot whatsoever. There was nothing but a costume party hosted by several young nobles seeking entertainment. And sweet pleasure belongs to the nobles by their lot, do they not? I figured as much. I'm glad we didn't sick the gender maze on them. I just hope the secret chancellery and Sir Elfero never hear of these reports. I doubt the advisor would be as tolerant of their youthful amusements. Well then, you may return to Auden's case, Brante. As you sift through yet another pile of paperwork, you cannot help but think of the Circle of Latari again. There can be no doubt the members of the Circle are pretending to be a long-extinct race. They are therefore revolting against the Empire, not on the streets, but in their minds. And this is an even bigger threat. The followers of the Latari have escaped punishment, and you've been among them.
Year 1143. That's right, 101,143.
Rumors are running wild in Anazote. People say that a mysterious clandestine society called the Last Straw holds the entirety of the city's seedy underbelly in its clutches, with men in safe houses all over Anazote, plotting and scheming against the nobles and the rulers of the province. Their leader is a woman, a ruthless criminal by the name of Sophia. She has evaded all attempts at capture. The common people both fear the Last Straw and sympathize with their cause. If the rumors are true, the city finally has someone who will stop at nothing to help the people claim their rights. But who would support this secret organization? And how did the insurgents manage to survive this long? No one in the city knows the answers. Magistrate Vermin, must assuage the people's fears once again.
The vile mutineers and heretics who call themselves the Last Straw will be caught and executed very soon, and anyone who has given them money and shelter will meet the same fate. The secret chancellery will make sure of that.
But even facing a manhunt, the Last Straw still endures. Slowly but surely, the influence of this underground organization is spreading throughout the city. Threats and promises. You were in the middle of ascending the city hall's long, curved marble staircase, a small man beneath the building's towering vault. You were suddenly visited that night by messengers from Magistrate Vermin. They insisted the reason was most urgent. You were already expected upstairs. There's a deafening silence in the lavishly decorated corridors. Your footsteps the only noise you can hear. Finally, you enter the spacious room that is the office of Vermin, a stately official of considerable age. You find him sitting in his comfortable chair of carved wood. He acknowledges your presence with a nod. However, the magistrate is not alone. By the window of the office stands a tall Archnian. The cape of the Imperial Legion covers his shoulders. He is Dorius Auden, the commander of Magra in the flesh. He does not even bother to turn around to look at you. The magistrate gestures to you formally, beckoning you closer.
Judge Brante, you have come at last. Sir Auden has been eagerly awaiting your arrival. You see, the commander has learned about a litigation being prepared against him at the prefecture. He demanded that an end be put to those machinations at once, and I humbly offered him my assistance.
Slowly, Auden turns to face you. He eyes you with cold contempt. Brante, you again. So you've been chosen to oversee this so-called case against me. I don't envy you. I will be brief. I will not stand idly by in the face of slander and baseless accusations. Give me your word of honor as a nobleman that you will do everything in your power to put a stop to this litigation. Only then will you be free to leave. I would treat any other answer as an insult against my noble lineage, and let it be known that Sir Vermin holds many positions, such as chairman's seat at the Court of Honor, which means that any insult will be soon followed by a legitimate duel of honor. I'm sure you know full well how others have fared in duels against me. Auden turns towards the window before you say anything, as if your answer has already been heard. Magistrate Vermin watches Auden and you silently with a mysterious smirk. You stand before the two lords of the city, a young man only recently ennobled by the mantle, Any word that leaves your lips now will affect your fate. Defying Otten's will now means facing true death by a sword, and your family will be left to suffer next. You have no choice but to lie and mislead the enraged Arcanian, doing what you can to mollify him. And so you bow deeply and speak as meekly as you can. Indeed, you say, His Excellency has every right to feel wronged by the prefecture. There is indeed a folder with his name on it in the archives, but you do not seek to besmirch Otten's honorable name. No, quite the contrary. You have merely been told to investigate slanderous rumors of illegal duels, and so far you have found no evidence that could tarnish the honor of the commander of Megra. It is true that Sir Rad is an impeccable master of the sword, and no opponent can duel him without suffering a lesser death, but His Excellency had every right to duel whomever he chooses. You, on the other hand, are but a humble servant of the law. To you, even the thought of initiating litigation against an Arcanian lord is simply unthinkable. Who would ever seek to judge guilty those who have been chosen by the gods themselves to rule over the rest of the empire? Quit your groveling, Brante. I don't need to waste my time on a duel to see you're no threat to me. So much the better for me, then. The Archduke is expecting me already. But pray to the twins if I hear even a word of this so-called case ever again. Farewell. Otten quickly walks out of the magistrate's office. Once his cape has disappeared down the long corridor, Elvermond turns to you with a smile of approval.
I see you're more and more accustomed to knowing your place, Brante. The likes of you are always a perfect fit in the ranks of power, even if you will never reach the very top. Once again, I am most pleased to have you with us.
Nice. You leave the city hall with a heavy heart. Sir Elborn wants Otten's case to progress, and so it will. No matter how much you have to bluff and delude those in power, Otten's sword will continue to loom over you until his case comes to an end.
I'm naive, look at that.
Or never mind. I've always been naive. Nobleman's honor. Otten's case still looms over you, a burden and a threat. As the strife between the estates grows more bitter, the judge's trade grows tougher by the day. The commoners demand more rights and legal protections. The nobles do their best to push back. As things stand right now, any verdict made in court may result in upheaval in the province, and possibly determine the outcome of your case against Otten. One day, in a park by the Falaise estate, favored by dueling Anazote nobles, you see a curly-haired young man lying prone in the small sunlit square. His body has been pierced by a sword, and it has not vanished. A true death. You are here to investigate a report of an illegal duel. The winner is still here. A slender middle-aged noble in an elegant black jacket. His hand still on the hilt of his sword, surrounded by gendarmes. It's Captain Linad. Your orders, Your Honor. Sir Elcorvio will not submit on his own, and we wouldn't dare use force against him. You sign for the gendarmes to lower their weapons and approach the duelist. Elcorvio's eyes widen and his face comes to life when he notices you. Before you can ask him, the noble begins to speak, far louder than necessary.
It was a duel sanctioned by the Court of Honor, that is all. The late Sir Elcorvio questioned my loyalty to the Emperor and called me an apostate. He left me no other choice but to defend my honor, and now he's dead. Please be quick with your verdict, Sir Judge. I am expected at the capital. You do know who I am, don't you?
Before you can say a single word, a carriage bearing the crest of Magistrate Elvermond rolls through the gate. The magistrate furrows his silvery brow as he looks at the sorrowful scene, then gestures politely for Elcorvio to approach his carriage. With a chuckle, the duelist walks through the line of gendarmes and leans on the carriage. Meanwhile, the magistrate takes you aside for a moment.
Brante, as you know, I am the chairman of our city's Court of Honor. I refused to sanction this duel as long as I could, since true death was on the line. But Alan Elcorvio insisted that denying him would spell trouble for the city of Anazote. Regrettably, he is a small yet important person in the Emperor's court. He used to command the Emperor's personal guard. I realize that you must mete out justice as your duty demands, but remember, duels of honor are one of the cornerstones
of imperial tradition. One of the pillars that support the twins' divine vision for the Empire. You have the authority to punish El Corvio, but be careful, he might make a dangerous enemy, both for yourself and for all of the nobles of Anazote. That fool El Este didn't know this, and now he's lying there before us. We would be wise not to repeat his mistake. The magistrate of Anazote glances around, then continues in a hushed tone. Brante, the situation is far from ordinary. If the fate of your city means anything to you, it would be best to let El Corvio go without a trial. Anazote doesn't need any trouble from the capital, and the El Estes are not as strong as they used to be. They'll get through it. You may find him if you wish. El Corvio will pate and move on, and justice will be done, at least to some extent. However, if you can defuse the matter entirely, you'll earn favor with all the aristocracy in Anazote, and I'll personally see to it that you get a swift promotion. Deep in thought, you gaze upon the body of the dead duelist in the long shadow of El Corvio. The decision you are about to make could influence all future duels in the province, as well as your own standing. I don't mind. You approach the silent El Corvio with your decision. You find him guilty of manslaughter. As punishment, he is ordered to pay a fine to the Imperial Treasury and make a donation to the family of the dead man. El Corvio's lips twist in a wry grin. He throws a heavy coin purse your way.
That ought to be enough to cut down a couple more brash impudents who dare to call me a traitor of the crown. I have urgent business to attend in Eterna, Judge. I am sure you can handle the paperwork yourself. Farewell.
With an accommodating smile, a vermin opens the doors of his carriage to the duelist. El Corvio vanishes within. Before they leave, the magistrate takes a moment to approach you. Court of Honor thanks you for this wise resolution, Rad Brante. I will placate El Corvio myself. You've acted like a true noble, even though traces of this incident will remain, unfortunately. Your reasonable action will not be forgotten. Open these doors, baby. The hunt for Thomas. Oh no. Oh no! Is he gonna die? He's not rescued. No. No, don't tell me he's gonna die. Oh, brother. No, blood. No! You are shaving before you go to work. You scoop some warm water from the wash basin. The morning light reflected in the mirror is blinding. A servant rushes in with an urgent letter, or rather a crumpled note. He says it's from your childhood friend of yours. You flinch involuntarily. A nasty cut appears on your cheek. Oh, I bloodied myself. Oh, thank God. Whew. Rad, I'm in trouble. Otten knows that I helped you. Now he's finally decided to get rid of me. His henchmen are on my trail already. They'll find me no matter how well I hide. I'm out of time, Brante. If you can, for the sake of our old friendship, help me out of this mess somehow. If Otten finds me, I'll be off the shining pillar. I'm all out of lives. Your friend, Thomas. You crush the note in your hands. A drop of blood runs down your cheek. Your old friend is in danger because he helped you with the case against Otten. If you don't interfere, Thomas Guerrero is doomed. See, this isn't the character that I had in mind, but this is the character that I've kind of developed into, so. You failed to protect Thomas from Otten's revenge last time. You will not fail him again. You crumple up the note, pick up your sword, and rush to help your friend. You know where Thomas has been trying to hide recently, the ruined place of Charmelinitis, where he used to play as children. You get there just in time. You hear a familiar voice coming from the ruins of an ancient bathhouse. Quit hiding, you bastards! You won't take me down without spilling some blood of your own! You follow the cry. In the middle of the old bathhouse, you see Thomas. Dirty, his hair overgrown, a sword clutched in his hand. 5 men, inconspicuously dressed in coarse clothing and wielding various weapons, are slowly closing in on him. They all freeze, stunned by your unexpected appearance. What took you so long, Brante? You hear intense joy in his voice. Hold on, let me go back. What took you so long, Brante? There we go. You rush to Thomas' side. Back to back, you start the fight. You are more skilled than Otten's henchmen, but they outnumber you. You do not let them surround you, but the fight is still a tough one. You succeed in wounding one of the enemies in the leg and force him to drop out of the battle, but another huge bruiser is swinging a club wildly, and all you can do is dodge. You are quickly becoming exhausted. Thomas keeps pace with you. He performs a masterful counterattack against one of the enemies and skewers him with your sword. Unfortunately, his weapon becomes stuck in the enemy's body. He will not be able to dodge the other assailant. With a swift turn, you put yourself in the line of fire and catch the blade with your glove. You steer the tip away from Thomas, then run your sword through the thug's stomach with a quick thrust. Nice. But your triumph is short-lived. Aw. You momentarily lose track of the big fellow, and he lands a heavy blow on your back. Your ribs crack. You are thrown several feet away. The thug swings the bloodied club again, but Thomas hurries to help you. Die, you bastard! Everything turns red. You lie motionless and listen as the fight continues until several shrieks of agony announce that it is over. Thomas leans over you. An incongruous smile flickers across his face. Hey, Brante. I just asked you to help, not to die in my place. Your old friend's stupid joke is the last thing you hear. Yeah, okay, man. Thomas's face, and then the rest of the world dissolves in a white light. I'm not you again. Impenetrable darkness surrounds you. You stand alone, bare to your very essence. It paralyzes you. You have an urge to cover yourself, to hide. No one should see you so vulnerable, but you cannot conceal the truth in this place. You are bathed in an unbearably bright light. It has no hint of warmth in it. It is blinding. It leaves no shadow in the entire world. It is the light of the shining pillar itself. In this radiance, you can clearly see all your thoughts and doubts, your errors and transgressions, the contradictions that have been permitted you since birth. They cover you from head to toe, like rough gray tatters, but they melt away in this light. You are naked. You feel liberated and whole. It is as though all the wounds and cracks in your soul have been healed, making it the way it should be. It is as though the scales have fallen from your eyes. You see the true shapes of things now. They are the laws by which this world abides, the grand design that moves life itself. You tread a path that is barely visible in the blinding light, giving shape to everything. In this light, you see the infinite complexity of the world, from the tiniest leaf to the enormity of the empire, and this world maintains its balance by virtue of the law that was embedded in it during the act of creation. Ahead of you, two figures are waiting on the path. They are gigantic, many times taller than a man. The elder holds a lash, the younger a sword. The younger gazes at you sternly, coldly. You kneel obediently before him and lower your head. A god raises his sword above you. This is divine retribution. There is no law without it, nor can there be. Every action has consequences. This is what shapes the world, making its very existence possible. In this moment, beneath the gaze of the merciless God, you comprehend the law that binds the entire world together. Which manifestation of the law and will you live by? Myself, I guess. I embody the law. The blade flashes. The younger sword slashes through the air above your head. You do not yet deserve your final punishment. The law demands that you continue your life. Your form has not been completely destroyed, nor has that of the world. The younger extends his gigantic hand and shows you the way. You must proceed. The path leads you to the top of the crown of the silver tree. Spread wide in the white gleam, the branches are close now. It is time to descend. You are drawn downward into darkness. The shadows that had disappeared in the blinding glow creep around you and envelop you. This is to be expected, but the purity and clarity of spirit are still within you. Something is forcing your throat open. Air. It scratches you on the inside. Your soul is filled with struggle again, with the contradictions from which the fabric of this world and you yourself are woven. The divine light that gave you clarity is fading away with each passing moment. You have to open your eyes. Above you is the dark ceiling of the crypt. You are reborn. And that was my second death. You awaken in the crypt. No one is there to meet you. It is quite possible that no one knows about your death. place smells of damp earth. The battle in the abandoned palace of Char Melanitis is the talk of the city for several days. Your name somehow comes up. Commander Otten does not openly accuse you. If he did, he would have to explain what his men were doing there. But his schemes make it much more difficult for your brother Stefan to have the Brante family annulled by the sword. Thomas fled right after the fight. It takes quite some time for you to get any news from him. Rad, as soon as we fought off those thugs, I decided to go into hiding somewhere far away from Anazote. Without his spies, Zahn seems to have lost my trail, and all thanks to you. I'm in your eternal debt, Brante. I hope you take down that bastard and put an end to all of his crimes once and for all. We'll meet again, your friend, Thomas.
Alright.
Thank God he's okay. I like that guy. Alright. I can only die one more time. El Pharaoh's list. You spend day after day hard at work, toiling over Odd's case, but something far more urgent demands the prefecture's attention today. The city is in chaos. There was an explosion in the square in front of the city hall. Wow. Someone threw a bomb at Magistrate Remy El Vermon's carriage. The assassination attempt failed. The magistrate was not inside the carriage at the time. He was unharmed, although his servants and driver did not fare so well. Even in your office, you can still smell the acrid smoke from the blast. The gendarmes reacted quickly. Five suspects, craftsmen and factory workers, were brought to the prefecture before sunset. They are accused of joining the Last Straw, a secret society of insurgents seeking to overthrow imperial rule. The society is on its way to becoming the talk of the city. Rumor has it their leader is an enigmatic woman, a tough criminal by the name of Sophia.
I know her.
The five suspects denied their involvement, but a number of eyewitnesses saw them walking towards the square, and some of them still have traces of gunpowder on their fingers. Judge Carlo Fokker has taken the case. The trial will be mercilessly swift. The five are to be hanged tomorrow morning. The sun begins to set. You are about to leave for home when you hear heavy footsteps in the hallway. A stranger enters your office. He is pale, with chiseled features, a furrowed brow, a thick black mustache, and dark eyes watching you intently from deep within their sockets. What a handsome man. He presents you with a gilded pendant in the shape of a wheel. Baron Felipe El Ferro, Secret Chancellery Advisor. I imagine you're well aware that we deal with the plots, schemes, and revolts against the Empire. I have a matter of great importance to the Empire to discuss with you, Sir Brante. I am aware that the case of the explosion in the square was not assigned to you, but for our purposes, this is actually for the best. The Secret Chancellery has been following this so-called Last Straw group for a long time now. They are the greatest threat to peace in Anazote, but you can help us rid the city of this menace. Baron El Ferro produces a neatly folded sheet of paper. This is a list of known insurgents connected to the Last Straw. They haven't blown anyone up just yet, but surely you realize that it must be most imprudent to wait for them to commit their next crime. The time to act is now. You can scan the list quickly. Some of the names on it seem somewhat familiar, perhaps from your youth. Anyway, to implicate them in today's assassination attempt, and you will prevent more explosions in the future. The Empire will rest easy if we can rid ourselves of the scum as quickly as possible. If you render this service to the Secret Chancellery, you may rely on my assistance in the future. As you may suspect, I have more than my fair share of powerful connections. Silence falls. The Secret Chancellery advisor pierces you with his heavy gaze. Alright. It hurts, but I'm gonna do it and hope that it works out in my favor. You rise from your chair and offer the advisor a curt response. No, you will not serve the Secret Chancellery. You serve the law, and you will never break it, no matter what you might stand to gain. You will not falsify a case, and you will not hang people on unproven charges. Plus, I'm already the damn protector of the powerful or whatever. I don't need it again. Baron El Ferro's face remains dispassionate as ever. His voice, however, loses all warmth. He stands up as well and steps towards you menacingly. I believe you misunderstood me. Brante, this is not a request, it is an order. You dryly ask the advisor to leave your office. No matter who gives the orders, if they are at odds with the law, you will refuse to follow them. You actually seem to be looking for trouble, Sir Brante. Well, very well. If this is the trouble you want, then trouble you shall have. Baron Alfredo leaves without saying goodbye. Okay. Good to know. The moment he is gone from your office, you grab a quill pen and write down the names from the list while they are still fresh in your memory. Next, you summon the gendarmes and tell them that an unlawful attack is planned against these people tonight. The gendarmes receive your orders. Tonight, they will stand watch at the homes of Sir Alfredo's suspects. After nightfall, covered wagons arrive at the same homes, and nondescript cloaked men head for the doors, but the gendarmes bar their way as ordered. The secret chancellery's minions are furious, but you appear before them next. All the residents of these buildings are under the prefecture's protection. The worried commoners watch the events unfold behind their windows. The secret chancellery has no choice but to fall back. The covered wagons disappeared into the darkness. You keep watch until dawn. In the early morning, an emergency court sentences the 5 suspects arrested in the square to true death for attempted rebellion against the crown. Soon their bodies are dangling from gallows in the same square in which their crimes were committed. People say the gallows would have claimed more than 5 lives today had the prefecture not protected those whose guilt remained unproven. Were the people from Sir Alfredo's list involved in the attack? No one will ever know. They all take advantage of the secret chancellery's helpless retreat and flee Anazote immediately. A week passes. The prefecture receives orders from the capital. The secret chancellery is to investigate the loyalty of every judge in Anazote and weed out any traitors. The judges are questioned, and their cases are seized for further study. 2 of your fellow judges disappear without a trace. No one dares to inquire about their fate. Helpless and furious, the judges have no choice but to grit their teeth and bear it. Why did you have to take on the secret chancellery, Brante? Don't you know we're all hanging by a thread now? In the meantime, strange, unsettling rumors begin to circulate. Your sister, Gloria, is accused of helping the last straw and the people who prepared the explosions, but no one can prove these allegations. These events take a great toll on your mental and physical well-being. Over dinner, you tell your family how you refused the secret chancellery and what happened next. That's the secret chancellery for you, son. Wow, that was not his voice. They cannot strike at us directly, but they can act from the shadows. No judge or honorable noble should ever follow their orders. I'm proud that you refused them. The false rumors will die down sooner or later, but your honor will remain your own. I'm pleased too, brother. Those people would label anyone an insurgent just to curry favor. I'm glad you kept those innocent people safe. Your family's assurances bring some relief. The false rumors have tarnished your family's honor, but together you can weather the storm. The rebel? This event is a consequence of your previous actions. The secret plot. Uh-oh. This is not going to go well, is it? A year has passed since Stefan engaged you in his scheme to marry Gloria off, and yet you have no chance to influence your obstinate sister. Tempers are running high in your household. Gloria disappears for days at a time. She's often seen in the company of young commoners. Father constantly lectures Gloria, telling her that her friends are libertines and troublemakers. Connections like these will be her downfall. Your sister listens obediently, then vanishes again. Tonight, Stefan meets you by the door, looking distressed. I've been waiting for you for quite some time. Let's go to the garden and talk in private. It's about Gloria. You sit on a shady bench. A hot, dry wind is blowing. I was on my way to a ball at El Liberius' mansion. I was already on the doorstep when a servant told me that he had been ordered to turn me away. They will not have anything to do with a family whose offspring is a member of a secret society. I am certain they mean Gloria, and these are not mere rumors. You know full well that she is entirely capable of such a thing. And here I was wondering where our little rebel spends all her time. We have to act, brother. Any delay and the damage to our family will be irreparable or irreparable. We have to make Gloria stop these escapades and get married by any means necessary. A secret society represents a tangible threat to our family. Father will see that and side with us. but still I will not accuse Gloria without firm evidence. That would be dishonorable. My hope lies with you, Rad. You are admitted to the right circles, and Gloria still trusts you, though she fears and loathes me. The two of you played together as children so often. You should be able to strike the right tone with her. Find a way to tame Gloria and force her to get married. Remember, we are doing this for the House of Brante, as well as for her own good. The hot wind scorches your face mercilessly. You are lost in thought. I'm going to have to go through with it. I got the Unity up, and now I'm going to have to knock her down again. You find Mother in her chambers. Her health is improving with each passing day. You sit down on the edge of her bed and ask her how she feels.
You know, son, as the years go by, our stairs have seemed steeper and steeper. But today I walked downstairs for lunch all by myself. Gloria and I had a long walk around the garden before she left. Is she back yet?
You carefully ask her if she knows where Gloria went. Mother frowns.
To the market. Or was it the weaver's shop? I'm not sure.
You softly tell Mother that Gloria is in trouble. She's gotten herself involved with some dangerous people, conspirators. She must be rescued as soon as possible.
Oh my, are you certain, son? Could it have gone really that far? Might they not be just fellow poets? They're libertines and they don't just observe their lot, but they never take up arms.
You insist. There can be no doubt. Gloria has joined a secret society. Before she commits an offense against the authorities, it is your duty to bring her back to safety. Mother agrees with a tired air.
You've always taken good care of us, this family, Rad. And now you're right about this too. I raised her, I taught her, I did my best. Was it all for nothing? What do we do now, son?
You tell her about the plan to give Gloria to Sir Pelletier in marriage. At first, Mother is incredulous.
A nobleman of the sword is willing to marry my illegitimate daughter, Gloria? The twin gods must be watching over her. But you do realize that you rebel against it, don't you? And it would be so sad for me to give her away to another family.
You assure Mother that if she does not get married, Gloria's escapades will ruin not only her own life, but also the Brante family, the same family that gave them both shelter and a life of ease. Mother and Gloria must repay Father's kindness, even if being a nobleman's wife is not exactly what Gloria wishes. Mother's face darkens. Her eyes are suddenly sharp. She speaks clearly and distinctly.
My daughter and I will do our duty to the House of Brante. Do not doubt us, son.
I believe you, Mom. Mother spends the rest of the day in prayer. When Gloria finally comes home, they have a long conversation upstairs in Mother's chambers. You hear pleading and weeping coming from that room. The next morning, when we're gathered around the table, Gloria rises to her feet. Her face is still red and swollen from a tearful night. Yikes.
Noble Sir Brante, I, Gloria, lowly daughter of Lady Lydia, hereby consent to become the wife of Sir Pelletier and will no longer impose myself upon you. I am grateful to this house for everything I have received here. I do not want to be a burden anymore and tarnish the Brante name. I don't deserve to be among you.
Your father is horrified. Mother nods sadly. Stefan jumps to his feet.
Gloria, you've mustered the strength to act valiantly. You are dear to our hearts, but we must part ways for the common good. Let us hear nothing more of shame. A family of the highest nobility and a happy husband awaits you. You will be married to a nobleman of the sword. I will send a letter to Jose Pelletier at once.
Gloria responds to Stefan with a wry smile. Your sister casts an intense look around the room. Who else was behind the scheme to marry her off? Gloria's eyes fix on you. You hold her stare without flinching. Doesn't he have a face? Gloria is promised as a wife to the noble Sir Pelletier and will soon leave the House of Brante. As she must. As she must. This is the way.
Year 1144.
After many years, the simmering, unceasing hostilities between Overseer Gaius Tempest and Archduke Milanitis have finally come to an end. The Archduke has abandoned all attempts to collect additional taxes from the people. By my grace, I hereby release the common people of Megra from the Archduke's tax. All hail the dynasty of Milanitis, which has protected you since time immemorial. Farmers and merchants can finally heave a sigh of relief. Unexpectedly, the Archduke soon withdrew from all provincial affairs, sequestering himself in his ancestral castle of Serpenverda. The gentry who remained loyal to the Archduke are baffled. Has he accepted defeat at the hands of the Overseer, or is this just an elaborate ruse? Either way, with the Archduke out of the picture, the senior gentry of Megra have lost some of their influence to the Overseer and his retinue of budding dynasties and nobles of the mantle. The feud between the two arcane rulers has ended, but the noble estate has been split nonetheless. The common people see this as yet another reason to demand change.
Okay.
Thank God, I guess. Seventh year of service. Another year of service as a judge is behind you. But you have no time to celebrate. Your days are filled with unremarkable litigation and similar-looking complaints. Again and again you see poorly written complaint forms. They claim that noble landowners are extorting money, punishing commoners for nothing, doing whatever they please. You have noticed a change in tone, from pleading to desperate to quietly furious. The low-born lot is to suffer, but how much longer can they endure? Every day, once the petty litigation has been dealt with, you return to On's case. Again and again, for 2 years now, you search for a way to do the unthinkable, to have an Archnean, and the High Commander at that, convicted for his crimes. You have not heard from On since your encounter at the City Hall, but he likely has spies among the judges and gendarmes. Sooner or later, you will realize the true state of your progress and find a way to get rid of this case and you, unless you are prepared to strike the first blow. But what should you do? Will you speak against Auden in public and summon him to trial? Is there any other way to deal with the High Commander? Either way, now is the time. Or now is not the time, and so you wait and prepare.
Hey, real quick, this is Rad here, post-Rad. I don't mean to break the veil a little bit, but I actually recorded all of this in, I think it was in just like July of last year. And so I've just been kind of editing those videos since then, like when I had the chance. And it's been a long process, and unfortunately in that process I lost a year of the game. I don't know what happened, like I don't know where it went. I did move some files around at some point, so that might have been where that happened. But I lost a year, I think it was 1144 or something like that. And so basically the one in between this clip and the next clip, because I still do have the end, so I'm gonna show that. It's a little over a half hour, so I hope you, I mean, if you want to keep on watching and keep seeing, you want to see the end, just a warning is that a year is missing, so that will be the explanation for why that isn't in. And I apologize, but yeah, I hope you can still enjoy if you still want to watch, and if you do, good on you, and thank you. So peace out.
For over a year now, Anazote has been slowly simmering with unrest. The feud between the estates, between the old faith and the new, between the law of the empire and noble traditions. Tensions are at an all-time high, waiting for the slightest spark to catch fire and burn. Even your family's affairs have been affected by the growing unrest. It is during these troubling times that the future of your family will be decided. Father shakes you awake early in the morning. He is excited, clutching a letter bearing the imperial seal of the Tempest dynasty. Wake up, son. Come to the sitting room. A letter has come from Overseer Gaius Tempest. He gingerly breaks the seal and unfolds the missive. Oh, is this like a projection letter?
To the Honorable Brante family, I, Gaius of the Tempest dynasty, Overseer of the province of Megra, have given due consideration to your petition to have your bloodline ennobled by the sword. You are expected in 1 week at Castle Aneri, as are all petitioners for the sword, where you shall hear my decision firsthand.
After finishing the letter, Father turns to you. He looks fatigued. Well, son, it's time for us to be honest with each other about our family. What do you have to say about this? Where do we, the Brontes, stand after so many years? What hopes do we have for the future of this family? The past 7 years have been marked by many life-changing events. The rare joys, the frequent fights, the arguments, the attempts at peace, the losses. Sometimes you have managed to change their minds, and sometimes you have not. But your decisions have made you realize what matters most to you. The future of the Bronte family must be decided here and now. Oh shit. Oh, that's all I can do is sever all ties with the family. Oh man. Yikes. Okay, already off to a good start. Alright. You coldly point out that the family's chance for a hereditary title is long gone, and the family itself, why it all but disintegrated years ago. You failed to quell the strife at home. You could not snuff the coals of enmity that slowly turned your family into disjointed clumps of ash. All attempts to put the family's affair in order have led to naught. And now it is time to admit that the Bronte family is no more. There is a deep pain in Father's eyes as he meets your gaze, but he does not argue. Which is why you continue. It would only be reasonable to sever what remains of your family ties. It is for your own good. You've all been strangers for a long time. You may live under the same roof, but you are no family. It is time to end these frantic attempts to fix that which is already beyond repair. Nothing good will come of it. Father is silent. A long moment passes before he speaks. As much as it saddens me to say this, you're right, son. We failed. I failed as the family patriarch, and I failed my family, my lot. I was chasing after a lofty position and neglected all the troubles in our family. I tried to please everyone, and I let everyone down. All I can say is that your grandfather was right about everything. You put your hand on Father's shoulder. It is not his fault alone, you tell him. All of you made mistakes. You too bear a sizable share of the blame. But I am the patriarch. No matter what, I am responsible for this family. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment I am. Father hides his face in his hands. It takes him a while to stifle his silent sobs and muster enough strength to continue. But enough weakness. It is time to accept the inevitable. The family is gone. We must all seek our own fortunes. I will quit my post at the prefecture and leave Anazote. The city has grown far too unsettled as of late, but if any of you ever want to visit my home, my door will be open to you. You leave Father alone with his grief in the sitting room. There is nothing you can do to help him now. You begin to pack your things. It is time to move out of the house that stopped being your home long ago. You will rent a lodging for now, and then you will see what comes next. A carriage awaits you at the gate. You take one last look at your parents' house, the place that was your home and shelter for so many years, your childhood games in the garden, your loud, happy dinners, your quiet conversations on the porch, the warm embrace of your family. It is time to leave it all behind. Well, that's great. That's really great. That's really great. You offer your family no farewells as you depart. They're no longer a part of your life. From this day forward, you must fend for yourself. Alright. Beautiful. Nice. Forsaken. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met. Career is above 7. Made a deal, the family falls apart. Forsaken? What does that mean? What does that mean, forsaken? Days pass, then months. You have held up your end of the bargain with Magistrate Elvermond for quite some time, sending him secret reports about the going-ons at the prefecture and Elborn's plans. You have grown so accustomed to your weekly reports to the Chancellor that they seem like just another part of your work routine. You have grown used to your new position as well. With the influential magistrate's patronage, many doors are open for you now. But soon after the breakup of your family, Elvermond sends you a letter.
Dear Sir Rad Brante, I used to consider you a reliable ally. I made sure you were supported by the aristocracy. The rulers of the province had already agreed to make you prefect in due time. You were one step away, but you ruined it all. Or did you think a nobleman could allow his family to collapse and escape with his honor intact? You have dishonored my name and as much as yours. I was a fool to trust a man who lost his own family and bloodline. You have ruined all my plans. I'll be straight with you. Our deal is off. Stay out of my sight and say nothing of our meetings, or you will regret it deeply. You helplessly crushed the letter in your fist. You have lost not only your family, but the magistrate's favor as well. You have no one to rely on but yourself now. Oh, he's my enemy. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great too. Wow, look at that. Wow.
Final preparations. The carriage takes you further down the city's narrow streets. They are filled with noble carriages and commoners hurrying about their business. But the driver skillfully avoids them all. You watch the city uneasily from behind the carriage doors. The past few months have been so tense and challenging. They felt like a single unbearable moment. You had to face one ordeal after another, and Auden's case sometimes fell by the wayside. But you have no doubt that the outcome of this case will determine your fate. Your previous encounters with the haughty commander have assured you of that. The time to strike Auden now. Well, the time to strike Auden down is coming soon. Right now, you need to make your final preparations. Your gut tells you that the time is running out. Either you seize the initiative, or Auden will destroy you himself. But what should you focus on at this critical juncture? You consider your options. We'll try that, I guess. To ensure Auden's downfall, you need to make arrangements. The haughty Archnean still has too many friends in high places. You tell the driver to take you to the Gardens of Plenty, where most eminent Anazote nobles flock to enjoy an afternoon stroll. During this outing, you just so happen to meet many eminent nobles in the garden. After each exchange of pleasantries, you let them in on a little secret. Auden's days are numbered. Overseer Gaius Tempest is about to get rid of the unruly commander, and no one, not even Archduke Melanitis, can change his mind. Naturally, you realize that the Ottons are one of the most ancient Archnean dynasties, but who would dare defy the will of a twin's blessed Tempest? Many of the noblemen you meet that day react to your words with incredulous looks, but you have the reputation of a respectable and powerful official privy to many secrets. Soon the rumor of Auden's imminent downfall begins to spread among the Anazote aristocracy. Many eminent noblemen are quick to disassociate themselves from the military commander in order to keep their own reputation safe. You rub your hands together in satisfaction. Soon, very soon, Auden will be the only one unaware of his inevitable downfall. Well, I'm exhausted as fuck. That's great. The hour has come. You stand at the window of your office and watch the living streets below, exhausted. For over a year, Anazote has been steadily simmering with unrest, like a soup pot over a well-stoked flame. The endless feud between the Archduke and the Overseer, the first trials against nobles, insurgencies flaring up all across the empire. Grim, heavy, dark red storm clouds now hang above the sky in Anazote. Preachers of the new faith fill the streets, urging the people to reject their lots. The abbot of the temple at the Silver Tree, Father Lenart, has turned the city's most ancient church into a new believer stronghold. Commoners flock to the squares in droves. The mobs grow bolder and bolder as they demand new freedoms and protection under the law. Commoners have been forming armed militias. The last straw insurgents commit brazen acts, hoping to overthrow the authorities. The nobles of the sword demand that every mob be dispersed by force. They are ready to fight for their ancient privileges, sword in hand. You cast a glance back at your desk, still covered with piles of paperwork for Auden's case. You have been working on it for over 2 years now. This case will have to reach a conclusion someday, but when? Will you be able to free yourself from the mortal peril into which it has drawn you? Your thoughts are interrupted by a heavy footstep and clacking hooves. The square in front of the prefecture quickly clears as workers and merchants do their best to flee. A legion battalion is advancing on the prefecture. It is led by Dorius Auden, on horseback and in full armor. He rides right up to the steps. The square resounds with his commanding voice. I am Dorius Auden, High Commander of this province, and I have come to demand justice. I have proof that a judge named Brad Brante has been collecting slander for years, seeking to tarnish the Auden name. I have already warned this judge, and I will not stand idly by in the face of an insult. To accuse me is to undermine the rule of the Archneans, our noble traditions, and the sacred order of the Empire itself. I demand that a stop be put to this campaign of defamation. I expect Judge Bronte to burn his so-called case right now. Until that happens, my battalion is under orders to treat all those who serve at the prefecture as traitors of the crown. No one will leave this building until I see these vile accusations against an Archnean dynasty burned to ash. Elborn comes rushing into your office. He is pale as a ghost, but trying his hardest to remain composed. Rad, Auden caught us off guard. I knew we should have begun this trial much sooner. He has the upper hand now. No one will come to our aid. We must give Auden our reply. It's all up to you now, Sir Bronte. This is it, the moment of truth. How will you respond to Auden's ultimatum? Yeah, this isn't happening. None of this is happening. Without saying a word, you stare out the window. Again, the sky is dark and overcast, thunder echoing in the distance. The Legion soldiers stand still, awaiting new orders. Auden's horse is right by the stairs as he waits your reply. The past several years flash before your eyes. Cases and verdicts, threats and promises, decisions and deeds. Where have they led you, your career, your province? How will you approach the task of rebuffing one of the mightiest Archneans in the province? It will all be decided now. Yikes, I was almost there. You stare out the window helplessly. All those years of service as a judge spent trying to achieve balance, siding with the common estate while avoiding the ear of the mighty, gathering influence and climbing higher while doing your duty as a judge. You have been buffed by twists of fate, by scheming and plots, and you have failed to maintain that fragile balance. You have failed to protect justice in your home province. The common people are so desperate, they are ready to take their rights by force. But the law is too weak to govern commoners, nobles, and Archneans alike. You will not be able to convict Auden, no matter how many crimes he has committed. The grip of tradition is too strong. The Archneans are and will remain immune to the rule of the law. On the other hand, you have also failed to garner enough influence and establish enough connections within the aristocracy. You have not earned their respect or curried their favor. Without powerful patrons, Auden, your sworn enemy, cannot be defeated. There's only one thing left to do. Acquiesce to Auden's demand. Your hands shake as you collect all the papers on Auden's case in your office. You walk down the stairs to the door of the prefecture. Auden meets you face to face. He dismounts his horse, but clad in a full suit of ancient armor, the Archnean is still a head taller than you. There you are at last, Brante. I expect nothing less. You humans are predictably apt at finding your proper place soon enough. Now destroy those despicable scribbles. A Legion soldier hands you a burning torch. Humble and obedient, you bring the fire closer to the papers containing Auden's case. All the evidence you have, all your statements, it all burns away in an instant. The wind lifts the ashes and scatters them across the square. That is what you should have done the moment your upstart of a prefect instructed you to undertake this so-called case. Still, my mercy is known far and wide. Confess your lies and slander to the entire city and you will be forgiven. Your stomach rolls. It's hard to breathe. It takes all the effort you can to muster to take a deep breath, and then you do as he asks. You submit to the highborn Archnean's truth. You gathered slanderous rumors, a task beneath a true noble's honor. Did everyone hear that? That's enough, Brante. You're free to go. Return to your cases of petty theft and stolen trinkets, and do not meddle in the affairs of your betters. Auden springs back into the saddle and commands the battalion to return to the barracks. You remain in the square, unmoving, your spirit broken. From behind you, Elborn's hands come to rest on your shoulder. Rad, you did all you could. It pains me to say it, but we cannot bring Auden to justice or make all the estates equal under the law. We must accept this defeat. We weren't ready. I am so sorry for getting you involved in this hopeless case. I wanted to change the Empire, but instead I doomed you to humiliation. I fear Auden's case was our last and only chance to avert a riot in Anazote. Soon the humans' patience will run out, and they will explode in defiance of this lawless tyranny. And no one will be able to prevent the fire and blood. You may go, Brante. Brace yourself for the tough times ahead. Take care. Elborn embraces you like a father and drags himself back into his office. You watch him leave, a lonely, bent old man. The sky over Anazote splits apart, showering the dust-covered streets with long-awaited rain. Yeah, well, we kind of lost all the power we have. A lesson written in blood. The night is gray, miserable, and gloomy. You walk down the steps to the prefecture, dragging your feet to your carriage. Now that Otten's case has met an ignoble end, your sense of duty seems to be the only thing keeping you at the office. Cases, complaints, petitions. It is all a blur. Another day has ended. Anazote is growing more restless by the day. The commoners cannot endure the tyranny and humiliation of the nobles any longer. More and more of them are refusing to obey, taking up arms and gathering in the squares. The noble militia of Anazote is making preparations to suppress the riots. The new believers are marching through the city. The last straw insurgents continue to incite unrest, striking again and again. It pains you to think that you could have made a difference if only you had not lost against Otten. A voice you do not recognize calls out to you. As you turn around to look, something heavy hits you on the head. The world grows dark before your eyes. Another blow lands, this time in your stomach. You fall to the ground, gasping for air, as pain and nausea crumple your body into a tight ball. Your ears are ringing so loudly you can barely hear the voices above you, but you still recognize your assailants as Legion officers. They bind your wrists and ankles and put a sack over your head. A carriage arrives. They drag you inside and shove you onto the seat. You are alone with squeaky wheels and the clacking of hooves. You hear the city gate opening. They are taking you out of the city. They drag you out to the carriage and remove the sack. You find yourself on waste ground outside the city limits, lit by the torches and surrounded by silhouettes. You recognize a number of aristocrats. Magistrate Ramiel Vermont is here, as is Frederick L. Labris, head of the noble militia. So many people you have angered. But the biggest silhouette of them all belongs to Dorius Otten, who stands right before you. How was the trip, Sir Brante? I took the liberty of sending my personal carriage to pick you up. I didn't want you to miss our appointment. Otten leans down to you and looks you in the eye. I remember you as a young boy. I remember how insolent you were even back then. I knew we'd fight one another eventually. Well, the time has come. Surely you didn't expect me to forgive your insult just like that, did you? You renounced your case, yes, but my honor as an Archean demands satisfaction. You have done more than merely insult my bloodline. You have questioned the power of those who rule this world. You are all alone. No one will protect you. You knew what you were doing, Brante, and now you're going to pay. I challenge you to a duel.
The Court of Honor hereby accepts the challenge. Sir Otten may rightfully defend his honor in a duel to the death. Both parties shall fight blindfolded.
Otten takes off his jacket and draws his sword. He has clearly done this many times before. A blindfold is placed over his eyes. Your head is covered by the same sack, this time knotted tightly around your neck.
Dorius of the Otten dynasty and Rad of the Brante bloodline will now cross swords in mortal combat. I summon their ancestors to bear witness to their duel. May their blood tides meet in sacred battle and determine the truth. May the younger witness our trial and behold the power of his inevitable law.
The hand shoves a sword into yours. You can barely breathe through the thick sackcloth. Your hands are shaking, unwilling to fight. You probe the darkness with the tip of your blade, unsure where to strike.
Let the battle begin.
Your arms grow tired. The sword feels incredibly heavy and unwieldy. You fall silent, trying to hear your enemy moving. Something rustles ahead. You step back as soon as you hear it, holding the blade in front of you. Still trying to run from me, eh, Brante? I'm afraid it's too late for that. You swing at the voice, but your blade slices nothing but air. You take a quick hop backwards. Your head shrinks in your shoulders. You cannot allow yourself to breathe, waiting for another strike. Don't listen to him. Surprised by the voice, you take a deep breath. The steel band you had felt around your chest is suddenly shattered. You cannot possibly defeat him. But you can accept your death with dignity. Prove you're worthy of the Brante name. You square your shoulders. The rope around your neck bothers you no longer. You still cannot see a thing, but you have no need for sight now. Keep your feet steady. Get your sword up. I'm here with you. A step, a swing, a jab. You know where to strike. Your blade sinks into flesh. Ugh! Pathetic human runt! That's it, I'm done playing with you. Something slices through the air. You deflect it again, once more. You are not in command of the blade. The blade commands you. You feel the blade swing in front of your face. You move to parry it, but the sword meets nothing. And then his sword stabs you straight in the heart. You take a few slow steps back. The darkness in your eyes gives way to the light. A light brighter than anything you have ever seen before. You keep the sword in your hands until the very last moment. You die on your feet. All is well, Rad. Come to me. Your earthly life is over. You leave the world forever and face the judgment of the twins.
Neither side could overcome the other. The fire of the revolt could not be extinguished. The province, and then the whole empire, fell on troubled times.
Outcome of the revolt. For years after your death, Anazote continued to simmer like a crockpot over a slow flame. The powerlessness of the simple folk, unable to change the old order, gradually gave way to rage. Finally, this anger became stronger than their age-old submission to the higher estate and their fear of divine retribution. This rage was the spark that lit the fire of the revolt. The rebels took up arms and seized the city for themselves, led from the shadows by the last straw. When the moment of truth came, there was no soul, and Anazote strong-willed enough to spearhead the raging revolt. The opposing factions soon reached a stalemate in which neither side could prevail completely. Anazote refused to surrender, but after a prolonged siege, Gaius Tempest finally broke the city's defenses, and the Legion entered the rebellious city of Anazote. The insurgents fled, the mob disappeared from the squares and the streets. The leaders of the revolt were hanged. The city's capture made even more trouble for the overseer. The unrest was beaten down, but not suppressed completely. New riots followed one by one, as the common folk, the new faith priests, and the nobles of the mantle continued to wage a desperate struggle against the old authorities. Gaius Tempest responded to the seething rebellion with more executions and threats, but dissent continued to grow. As the unrest in the city smoldered, the rest of the family eventually caught wind of the Anazote revolt. Nearby migrant towns and villages saw their first riots soon after. Chaos began to spread across the empire. The empire responded to this enduring turmoil with ruthless action. But even after several villages and towns were drowned in blood, the riots only intensified. The dominance of the emperor and his dynasty began to wane. Power struggles broke out between the powerful nobles in the capital. Then a shocking event shook the empire to its core. Emperor Uther II was found dead in his palace, never to be reborn. His heirs, Jarian and Flavius, both disappeared without a trace. No one to take the throne, the noble dynasties accused one another of plotting against the Tempest's rule. Feuds and internecine strife became commonplace. And so began an age of anarchy, a time of massacre and riots, conflict and bloodshed, chaos and unrest. There were no winners in this war of all against all, only survivors. The empire entered a dark and terrible age. What became of you? You have made your last and most important choice. Was your death worth it? Did you have chosen a different path? Either way, there is no going back. Your fate is sealed. There is no returning from the hereafter. And so you bid farewell to your mortal life. Everything you fought for, everything you strove for, all that is behind you now. You are on your way to the Shining Pillar to await the judgment of the twins. You can no longer change the world's destiny. The choice you made and the deeds you did have left an incredible mark. The world will remember the life of the Okay. The world will... Sorry, let me do that over again. The world will remember the life and suffering of Rad Brante. True death. The hour of your death has come. Your soul has left your body, never to return. You are taken to the peak of the shining pillar. Every moment separates you more and more from the mortal realm. The link that once bound you to it is forever gone. You look up to see two divine visages watching you intently. The elder twin gazes upon you, full of sorrow and compassion. The younger examines you dispassionately, seeing your every act and thought. You've ascended from the mortal realm. From here, you are but one step away from partaking in eternal bliss atop the peak of the shining pillar. But first, you must be judged by them, just as every other soul born in this world has been judged since the time immemorial. Only their judgment can decide whether you deserve to remain atop the peak or be hurled down to the foot. You stand before the twins. Your very essence is laid bare before them, all the secrets of your inner self revealed in full. Your soul is like an open book to them, one that preserves the story of your entire life. You lie prostrate before the gods. Prostrate. The time has come to take responsibility for your mortal life. And the elder twins ask, are you thankful to the gods for the life you have lived? Either I despise them or I regret them. Since my character kind of went down this route, I'm gonna regret it because a bunch of bad shit happened and yeah. They hear your answer. Compassion and remorse fill the immeasurably deep eyes of the elder twin. He turns to face his divine brother, who returns his gaze with an expression of stern remorse. The elder twin asks once more, what was your life to you? Suffering, struggle, suffering, toil, service. I guess toil. The elder twin bows his head wearily, considering your response, but the stern visage of the younger already looms above you. Human by the name of Brante, what did you live for? Power. The younger's gaze lingers on your bare, defenseless soul. The divine figure continues its stern interrogation. What did you leave behind? Achievement? Legacy? Not home. I don't think I did change. Order? I don't know. I'm gonna say nothing. The younger twin now moves towards you with clear intent, poised to render his judgment. But the elder twin restrains his brother's gesture. But the elder twin restrains his brother with a gesture. A divine voice fills you once again. Did your life make the world we made better and more perfect? I'm gonna say it became worse. The younger twin is silent. The eyes, two swords piercing your soul. The elder twin speaks to you again, but you already know the question, the very same question that caused you so much suffering shortly before your true and final death. What determines your destiny? Myself. The twin gods exchange a glance that lasts a brief moment, and all eternity. The hand of the elder twin reaches out to you, glowing with light and warmth. The gods offer you an unprecedented opportunity to change your destiny, to rewrite the book of your life. Or would you like to take a different path in life? I'm gonna leave the choice up to you guys. What happens? Do we go back? Or is this it? This has been the life and suffering of Sir Brante. I didn't really do what I sought out to do. I was aiming higher than I guess I really should have. And maybe I was trying to do a little more of everything than I should have. I should have just stuck to what the plan was instead of trying to hold on to a love life or or be something I wasn't. So, yeah, I mean, there are so many other ways you could go in this game. There's so many other decisions you can make. It's such a vast and such a flexible game, really. Like, a lot of things can happen. You can choose a lot of your own paths. I mean, that's the whole point of the game, right? But, like, really, it's a really fun game. And I do really appreciate how it's presented. And the art is amazing. The story is amazing. We didn't make it past the time of peace, because there's a whole other section that you go through, and there are a lot of other things you can do, but I just didn't. I managed to do nothing, so it kind of sucks, but yeah, I appreciate you all watching, and you should go check out the game for yourself. It's on Steam. Yeah, this has been great. End of an era, I guess. That's all for today, and stay rad.